Today the topic is my relationships with my family. Relationships is a big topic, but what I really want to talk about is my relationships with the people closest to me. Of course, my relationships with my loved ones are different to those with the other people I know or meet. My loved ones love me, and so I behave differently with them because of that. Also, I spend the most time with them, so their roles in my life are bigger. My relationships with my family have been, and still are to some extent, the area where I have a lot of my, let's call it, trouble. It's unavoidable, and each person gives me trouble in a different way. It could be an argument with my wife about jobs around the house, or my kids fighting with each other and I have to get involved. And I used to just fall into these situations and only realize when I was in them that a time of trouble had started. But now I can recognize when it's starting and I can get ready for it. One of the most important things about these times of trouble and how it makes them different to other interactions I have is that they all have one thing in common. They all make me feel horrible, like my whole life is off balance. When a loved one is making trouble for me, I've learned through trial and error that sometimes I need to act and sometimes I don't. But definitely the worst thing I can do is to react. If I react, the situation goes into a downward spiral for me and I end up having even more trouble. If it's one of those situations with my kids, I've found that sometimes my emotions are much stronger than they should be in that situation. And I don't mean I have anger issues or anything like that. It's just that sometimes I can feel myself being disproportionately annoyed with the situation. And although I'm thinking, why am I reacting so strongly? I just can't stop myself. But it's because I've reacted, and that was a mistake. Sometimes I have to act, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But most of the time, what I need to do is to not act at all. This includes putting aside what I'm feeling, or what I want, or what I want the other person to think about me. Of course, I can't always do this, or I can hold out for a while, and then I just can't stop myself reacting. Mistake. And so sometimes I do need to act, but it's not what you might think. In those situations, what I really need to do is get busy doing something, for something completely unrelated, like cleaning up in the kitchen or helping my kids with something. And when I do this, after a certain amount of time, the trouble fades away. And I know it's gone because I can't feel that horrible feeling anymore. Click subscribe and keep up to date with what's happening on this channel.